go again very quickly to my Figma. I think my Figma is up now. Right now, the same thing similar to Adobe XD. When you are trying to create something, you can title your project. If you want to do that, you save your project. Definitely you have a name to it. Right now, we want to confirm what are we designing for. Hello, are we still together, guys?
Sir.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Right,
Yes, sir.
cool. So
Yes, sir.
a basic introduction to Figma as well. Like I said, they are similar to, if I go back to my home, you will see some project that I've worked on. I tried to delete because I'm using a free account. I deleted some project that I've been working on recently, but this is one of them, but it's not coming up. I think this guy is taking a lot of time. So I'll go ahead to this. I'll go ahead to a sample. When you open Figma for the first time, it will land on this interface. This is the mobile application for Figma, but it's still connected to the cloud. Everything you do on Figma is on the cloud. Compared to Adobe XD that I just click and was saved on my system. You can also save on cloud. If you notice this section earlier, it was showing the cloud icon, because you can save on cloud and also on your mobile device for Adobe XD. So I'll go ahead to close this project for Adobe XD, and I'll close my presentation slide. My presentation slide, most of the time, since I've learned and I've started using Adobe XD, my presentation slide have been done using Adobe XD because it's just simple interface, very simple compared to my normal Adobe Illustrator interface. So I try to use that a lot. So let me see. Okay, this is an example of a project. For example, I'll zoom in close to what I have here. I'll go ahead to play this section for you too. So if I play this section to show you a quick simulation of that, you can see a simple website landing page for a land page for a business that is into cakes and confectionaries, right? I'm trying to use, if you remember this brand that I've been speaking about since we started our class, Kelvin Kate, I showed their portfolio that time. Not that the lady wanted to do it, but I'm just working on my US and just trying to work on this, right? So you can see this, and then when you finally decide to select a particular product, when you click on see more product, it will show different cakes and different design that you can switch from. In fact, you can select your favorite if you're not ready to order yet. This is how we transition from one page to another, right? A lot of things are being put in place before you can find this. Let me give you an intro into what I'm talking about. This is the website on the normal screen, but this is not what I'm talking about. Close these two, the first one and the second one. Let's start afresh. The same thing you will see when you start your project on the first screen. You want to click on create. When you click on create, you can click on design. When you click on design, it opens a new design for you, right? It will ask you to start a new design. Because we are using a starter pack, we can create. Now it's telling me something here. A starter pack has 3 files. Can you see? I've extracted my 3 files already, but I have a file currently ongoing, which is under untitled here. Now, when you open the interface for the first time, yours might be here. Sometimes yours might be on this section here, depending on the version or the update that your Figma is currently on. But for mine, the artboard is here. When I click on my artboard, this selects a frame, right? What kind of frame am I trying to work with? That means what am I designing for? When I click on frames on Figma, it shows this area for me. Can you see I can design for phone? When I click on phone, look at the drop down arrow for phone. I have Android, medium, I have iPhone, the same thing that I have on my XD, guys. So I have 14 Pro Max, I have different, if I'm designing for 14 Pro Max, the same thing that we did earlier, I'll click on 14 Pro Max here, and automatically an artboard is being placed on my screen. Can you see that? The artboard will come with the name of the product. I'll double click on it and change it to what? Let's call it home. I'll call it home page. That means this is the launch screen. Whenever you open this application, where it's going to take you to, right? Immediately I do this, I'm on the artboard, you see a box around it, right? Still under this section, you have selection, different selection you can add. When you use your hand, you are panning your interface. I don't have to come to hand to use hand. I can be on my move tool. When I click on my space bar. When I click on my space bar, you can see my hand action is being activated temporarily. Immediately I leave my space bar, it goes back to selection command, right? If I open my artboard, basically you can see my artboard is showing the size here. It does not really matter. Now, when I have that here, if I have a color that the background should be, I can go ahead to add a color to it. That means the background of this application should be this, and that. If I have an image in mind, I'll go ahead to select an image. Now, I'll go ahead to upload that image from my design. What image am I looking at? Similar to Adobe XD, I'll go ahead to my download, go and look for a suitable image for what I'm trying to create. I'll look for a suitable image. Let's say I'm designing this one for Coca-Cola or Pepsi rather. I'll go ahead to click on Pepsi, and I'll open this guy up. Right, and then this is what I have. This is what I have, guys. Right? Are you guys with me? Or you can go ahead to select any other thing that works for you. You can add a solid image. You can add gradient, if you want to add a gradient to it, if you want something that blends from origin to, or you can use an image. Every other thing works, guys. Everything works on this section. Let's say we are using this image for our design. So I'll go ahead to use this image, and then if I want to add again, similarly the way we did our other design as well, I'll go ahead to close this section. Look down here, I can also add shape. I'll add a box example. I'll add a small box here. I can create different box sizes. Every button, we call this button in design. Button have their sizes, right? Depending if on this resolution that you are creating them for. So I'll create something as simple as bring a shape into my workspace. Now on this shape that I have here currently, I think this one is working for me. I'll drag it down a little bit. And then I'm also looking for a color, because I'm working on Pepsi. I can sample this red color on this Pepsi stuff here. Let me use this red color that I have here. All right, I'll use that red color, one for login and one for sign in as usual. I'll go ahead to click on Ctrl+C+V as usual, and then I'll bring the duplicate downward a little bit. The same way, guys. The same way. So I'll go ahead to my fill color here. I can select my fill color here, change it back to an outline. So I go back to my stroke, enter into my stroke here. I'm adding a stroke color of that same red, right? I'll go ahead to select that same red on the stroke color. I'll go ahead to go to my fill, remove the fill color. This stroke color, I can increase the thickness a little bit to maybe around 3, right? So that it's more obvious, right? Or I can use white. In fact, white would work on this deep background that I have here. I think it would. So let's say we are proceeding with red, for example. Now, so the next thing that I need after creating the two buttons here, I need the shape, the text icon. The text icon is right below here. I'll go back to my text icon, come to the shape. I'll click once, and then on that shape I'll type sign in. And then after I click on sign in, I can increase the text size again from 12. I'll make it around 16 most of the time. 16. I'll take it, put it around the center here. You see the alignment icon also working here. I can make it something around bold, right? Sign in, let's increase the size a little bit. I'll make it from 16. I'll go ahead to make it around 18, something bigger. So again, I'll align it to the center. You always see your guide here. There's always a guide that follows your design around. So I'll go ahead to bring it down a little bit so it fits around that center. The same way, I'll go ahead to select my Alt key on my keyboard and duplicate that signing downward. When I click on my Alt key, I'm making a duplicate. This time I'll change that same signing. Because I already have the size, I don't have to recreate it again. I'll call this login. Again, this is an intro. We are not designing anything here. We are not even talking about design yet, guys. So this is how it works. If I want to use white for this, I can select the outline as well. Go ahead to make this a white color instead. So I'll go to my stroke and make it a white color. The white color, I'm losing the details here, but you can still use it. All right. So I feel like we can use this, and I can go ahead to add the same text again. I'll bring it downward a little bit, and I'll go ahead to add something called forgot password. Right, I'll ask a question mark there because this is usually an hyperlink. Most of the time, whenever you are doing this on a mobile application, you know that it's an hyperlink. When you click on forget password, it's going to take you to a website. When you get to quickly retrieve your password for that profile. So it's something that's going to change alongside. So this is the forget password section. You can also leave it on white. But you can see a simple interface design. Currently, this Pepsi logo is working. We can use it.
Fully charged battery, fully charged. Unplugged charger.
So this is currently working a little bit, but you get the concept of how these things work. We have an interface, we select a resolution of whatever we are designing for, and the same way, similar to Adobe XD, you can click on the artboard, Ctrl+C and Ctrl+V. It's going to create a duplicate again, similar to it. You can now start. We are currently on the design phase. Look at this section here, design phase. I can go to prototype. Now in the prototype section, I can start selecting the flow. How do I move from one screen to another, guys? Do you get me? Are you guys with me? So this is basically how user interface and user experience is all about. We can go even more simpler than what we have here, creating every element as the start, right? We can simulate, we can see how these things go. We can create different artboard, we can create different shape into it, we can create different button, we can add image to it, we can add text. This is how different interface is all about. Basically, this is like an intro, guys. If you want me to go detailed into it, you guys let me know on after I've seen this recorded section. So maybe I can go a little bit into it. I have had a lot of user interface and UI UX course here, but I've not recorded properly a course for it on my channel, but if you guys want us to do that, we can do that. I'll create time for that over the week, but let's see. But basically, this is like an intro to user interface and user experience design. And like this, from here we are going to be drawing the curtains on today's section, guys. This sums up our section. Now let me know if you have any question. Hit me up, guys. Do you have any question?